What is going on, guys? NJ2005 Gundam here, and today I am going to be bringing you guys a bit of a sadder video because I want to talk about the current state of Gunpla, because it has been changed quite a lot since the last 2 to 3 years. Now, the main trigger that got me into pushing this video out is that Japanese sites like AmiAmi and Hobby Search, also you guys may know it as 1999, has taken down their Bandai Models Kit series upon Bandai's direct request. It has been confirmed that Bandai is not allowing Japanese stores to sell any of their model kits, or I don't know if that extends to further products, but as far as I know, model kits are being affected. It doesn't matter which series it is. They are not allowed to sell Bandai's model kits internationally, at least Japanese stores. Now, the main motivation behind it is to stop scalper issues. Now, that I will address a bit later on. But do not fret, because first of all, I know that people think our shame that we cannot look up any instruction manuals of any model kits anymore. But fortunately, Hobby Search's Japanese site hasn't taken any of the Bandai stuff down, so you can look for the Japanese version. I'm going to put a link in the description below for one of the main pages of Gunpla, so you can maybe use Google Translate or something like that to sort through the listings and look for the model kit you want. But it is going to be a bit of a faff, let's be honest here. But you can still look up instruction manuals that way. But the second more important issue is that sites and storefront stocks directly from Bandai are unaffected. Do not panic, you're still going to get your Plamo if you're going to be buying from online shops such as Hobby Japan, New Type HQ, and USA Gundam Store or something like that. Maybe even more are out there, but at least the three bigwigs of the Gunpla online store market are not affected. Now, personally, like, this issue feels like a non-issue, honestly. Like, I don't know, scalpers are out there. There's nothing you can do to stop them. Like, for example, like, I do have the Gundam Dynamis arms, and if it were to fall into the hands of someone not as courteous as me, they would scalp it to something like over $1,000 US, I can imagine. So there is no stopping that issue. The main reason why scalpers exist is because the supply for that kit doesn't meet up to the demands. Like, you can look for something like what is a good example? I don't have one. No, never mind P Bandai kits. That I will talk about in a bit. But there is a lack of supply of Gunpla kits, especially recently. Now, at the start of 2020, like, I couldn't understand because everything just went to shit because of the pandemic, and everything just come crashing down. But now that we are accustomed to the current working, like the mode of work currently, it will feel like there is a possibility of them pushing more people back into the factory to push out more supplies. So you can find something from a retail release selling for at least $40 to $50 on some sites, and that's the main problem that Bandai are trying to stop. And I can appreciate their motivations, but the main thing is stopping Japanese sites from selling their products internationally is not the way to do it. In fact, even when online storefronts like Hobby Japan are still getting their supplies, scalpers are still going to be out there because the demand is larger than the supply. And all Bandai is doing from disallowing any Japanese store that aren't directly supplied by them to sell their kits internationally is further proliferate the issue, because the availability of Gunpla is going to be further lowered because of what they did currently. So it's honestly not the way to address the problem. The way to address the problem is to like increase the supply. And yeah, like I said, you do not need to panic for looking at instruction manuals and looking at model kits to buy, because yep, I'm a Hobby Japan affiliate. I'm not ashamed to plug it here. So you can purchase your kits from the link down below. But that brings me to the second issue that I want to talk about, which is the state of P Bandai. because like as you know, everything currently is being thrown into P Bandai. Like it would be a miracle if something is not thrown into P Bandai. And now I know everybody needs to do what they could to survive, including Bandai. So of course, the more quote-unquote accessible way of releasing model kits, instead of having them travel to international storefronts, is to put them on the P Bandai website, because all the places that they cover can order them directly from the site, and then Bandai can ship it directly to your front door. Of course, there are some other profit reasons that they're doing it, especially because when you're directly paying Bandai for the kits instead of the stores taking a bit of the profit then paying back to Bandai or something like that. It's kind of like having a middleman there take a bit of the profit, kind of like how AdSense works nowadays. Yeah, they can earn that a little bit extra profit for them to stay afloat for a little bit longer, which is understandable to some extent. But now that we have been in this state, for lack of a non-vulgar word, it's starting to weigh on everybody's minds. Like, take a look at the 2014 P Bandai catalog. I will throw that link down in the description as well, so you can check it out yourself. So you only have like 2 pages, well, technically 1.5 pages, and that was in the middle of when the Build Fighters craze is going on. Versus, let's say, last year, 2021, you have multiple pages, and I believe they had to increase the number of cells for the grid in order to accommodate every single kit that they have released through P Bandai in a more condensed manner. That is how bad P Bandai has gotten to nowadays. Like, everything that you can imagine being thrown into the retail has been thrown into P Bandai. There was a ton of variety when it comes to model kits back then, the model kit lines back then versus now. You can either choose between an Adele or a Gundam Age 1. You can what could you choose? I don't know. You can choose the H2 Dark Count over the H2 Normal, both in retail markets. There is also what is it? You also have the millions of different grunt units that I don't remember their names off the top of my head from Gundam Age. The other thing about Gunpla is the affordability and the availability of the model kits. Now, when everything was basically released into retail, and everything that is a variant or an add-on or some special designs they could not get the rights to are thrown into P Bandai. That model kits from the Gundam Age era to the Build Fighters Tri era are widely available. Let's not talk about personnel and all that kind of stuff. That's a different matter entirely. But they were affordable, yes, because they were thrown into retail market. They may be a price a little bit higher when they are sold in non-Asian markets because of import tax and stuff. But they were still available at a very wide degree. Like, you can just pop on an online store willy-nilly, check out with your wanted kits in question, and just wait for them to deliver it to your door. That was the state of Gunpla. But currently, not only is the supply not meeting the demand that's causing the scalper issue that I mentioned earlier, Premium Bandai is also one of the major culprits of making everything worse, because first of all, the availability of P Bandai kits is not that available, because every single highly anticipated kit is sold out within the first few seconds of pre-orders opening. And that's the thing, you're spamming F5 for a kit that you want, which you have to pay an overpriced amount, an exorbitant amount for. And because of the exclusivity of Premium Bandai kits, the scalpers out there who you maybe use bots to put in their order, or maybe they share the same mentality as ours and sit at the desk and click F5 all the time until the pre-order is open and check out. But the fact of the matter is, with everything thrown into P Bandai, coupled with the refusal of Bandai to let the local websites who are not directly supplied by them to sell their model kits internationally, it is going to only proliferate the issue of scalpers. So what Bandai could do, and this is the only thing that I could think of that they can do, is increase the supply and decrease the exclusivity of model kits by throwing more of them into the retail market. And I could only hope that the Witch from Mercury kits would not suffer from the same issue. So it's honestly a sad state for Gunpla currently, and I could only imagine it getting worse because of the extra bit of money that Bandai makes, because the money doesn't have to go through a secondhand store before getting back to Bandai. And I don't know if Bandai is going to revoke their refusal. But if they are not going to be revoking it and further worsening the issue of every kit being thrown into P Bandai, then it's going to be a sad state for everybody involved, especially after I move to the UK. Because you guys in the US are fortunate compared to those in Europe. I know there is a Gunpla hobby store in Paris for the Europeans, but whenever the move initiates, whenever the entire family moves to the UK, Gunpla availability is going to tank there. And if this issue continues to proliferate, I might find myself topping out pretty soon, especially after experiencing the despair that is the lack of Gunpla in the UK. So hopefully Bandai would revoke their decision, but I doubt they're going to do that because everything nowadays is solved with a nerf hammer, and in Bandai's case, it's nerfing the availability to the overseas market just to quote-unquote decrease the number of scalpers. I don't think this issue would ever be solved if Bandai continues to perpetuate this current idea that overseas sales increase the number of scalpers that they're not earning from. But maybe it could just be my pessimism. Maybe this issue could be solved within the next few months or so. But as of current, the state of Gunpla and Plamo from Bandai in general is not in a good light. So I don't know. Take it as you will. But if you still want your Gunpla kits, you can still go to sites and storefronts stocked directly from Bandai. For example, go down into the link below to support the channel while you purchase from HobbyLink Japan. And that's basically gonna wrap it up for this video, and I'm so sorry that this is more of a sadder video, but this is an issue that is affecting everybody except for Mekakai Kotsu, of course. That is gonna get on everybody's nerves. And yeah, however long this video may be, thank you all so much for listening, and let's hope the bigwigs at Bandai make the wiser decision to tackle scalpers by increasing the supply instead of lowering the availability and the affordability of Plamo for the overseas markets. And yeah, subscribe to the channel for more Gunpla reviews and Gunpla news. Like and comment if you have anything to say about this current issue. And follow me on social media if you want to connect with me. Links are in the description below, and I'll see you all in the next one.